This is the financial statement tutorial and covers how to use the detailed financial statements in the program. There are a number of assumptions that affect the financial statements. The most global assumption is under Tools, Options. If you select New Projects, you'll see that the financial statement year order can be selected. By default, it's in reverse order. In other words, the financial statements go 2009, 2008, 2007. However, if you want to put them in chronological order, just select this button and select OK. The thing to remember here is that you can only choose this before the project is created. After the project is created, you can no longer change the order of input. There's also a number of assumptions under financial statements that impact the financial statements. Out-of-balance indicators will show out-of-balance indicators if the balance sheet's out of balance. If you put in a partial period, this is where you select how you want to annualize the partial period. If you want COGS and inventory to appear in your financial statements, select this check mark. If you want pass-through, in other words, no tax lines, for partnerships and subchapter S entities, select this check mark. If you select this check mark, you can also tax affect the pass-through. If you elect to put in more than one balance sheet, the adjusted balance sheets can be shown for every period or just the most recent one. You can also elect to have summary statement shown on the navigator. The main project assumptions page also has some settings that affect the financial statements. The entity type will affect the equity section of the balance sheet. The first fiscal period ends date and last fiscal period ends date affects the dates and the number of periods in your financial statement. If the beginning month day does not match the last fiscal period month day, you'll have a partial period, which you can then annualize. The number of balance sheets that you input are also set here. You can input either all periods or the most recent period. The program comes with a default chart of accounts, which you can change. Start by entering data in the white areas. You'll notice that there's accounts that have sub-accounts. For example, cash has 3 sub-accounts: checking, savings, and marketable securities. You can either enter a summary number in the parent account, cash, or you can enter detailed information in each one of the sub-accounts. You can add accounts and sub-accounts anywhere in the financial statements. To add an account, select the Insert button. When the Insert dialog appears, you'll be able to specify whether you want to add an account or a sub-account. A sub-account will be added under that account and indented. You can also insert the account above or below the current selected account. You can input the name of the account, and the account inherits the properties of the account next to it. In other words, this was a cash account, so the type of account is automatically defaulted to cash. However, you can change this. There's a number of account types. This affects the way the balance sheet is calculated, as well as how ratios are calculated and earnings bases are calculated. This provides for a tremendous amount of flexibility, so you can make financial statements look exactly like a subject company's financial statements. There's also a property. In the balance sheet, there's only one property, operating and non-operating. So if you have a non-operating account on the balance sheet, select non-operating. When you select the OK button, the account will be added. You'll notice our new account is added under checking, and it inherits the properties of the area that we were in other words, cash. At this point, you can type in your data in the account. You'll also notice that the out of balance indicator appeared because the balance sheet is now out of balance. If we delete that entry, the out of balance indicator disappears. The out of balance indicator is an assumption that you can turn on and off. To move an account, select the Move button. And you can move an account above or below another item, and you can select the item you want to move it to or below, select OK, and you'll notice the account moves. So you'll see our new account has moved below savings. If you want to delete an account, select the account, either the account title or the number, and select Delete. It'll ask you if you're sure you want to delete it. Select Yes, and the account will be deleted. If you want to change account properties, select Edit Account. This dialog box will allow you to change the account types and properties. To change the account type, simply select from the list. The same is true for account property. On the balance sheet, your only choices are non-operating or none. Entering the income statement is very much like the balance sheet. You enter data in the white areas. You can change the titles by clicking on the title and typing over them. You can insert, move, delete, and edit accounts. The options for edit account are different on the income statement. The types of accounts are revenue, cost of goods sold, operating expenses, and other income expenses. And account properties are non-cash, officer's comp, depreciation, amortization, and interest. For example, if you wanted to have an interest line under cost of goods sold, you could insert an account under cost of goods sold and change the account property to interest. This will automatically reflect interest in the appropriate places in terms of the ratio calculations as well as the earnings basis. It'll also give you an easy way to make the statements in the program accurately reflect your subject company statements. Since the financial statements are in Excel, you can use the Edit in Excel button to edit the financial statements. A warning will appear warning you not to edit the structure of the financial statements. In other words, you can format the financial statements in terms of fonts, underlines, dollar signs, etc. But be very careful not to edit the structure because they're very easily corrupted. If you want to add accounts or delete accounts, use the operations from the program. Once the financial statements are in Excel, you can change the fonts, change the formats, and change the underlines. For example, if you want to change a number format to include dollar signs, bring up the Format Cell dialog in Excel, select Currency, and select OK. And you'll notice the dollar sign appears on the number. Select the Return button, and the spreadsheet will now appear in the program. And you'll notice the dollar sign is there. So feel free to change the formats, but be very careful not to change the structure of the financial statements in Excel. Let's move on to adjustments. Let's adjust the balance sheet. And remember, there's an option that allows you to input one or multiple years of balance sheet, as well as adjust the most current year or all the years of balance sheet. For this sample, we've input and are adjusting only a single year. To make an adjustment, select the category you want to adjust and hit the Edit Adjustments button. Put in the adjustments key, the adjustments amount, and the adjustments note, and select OK. You can enter one or more adjustments per line. You'll notice on the balance sheet that retained earnings is automatically adjusted for you. Let's move on to adjusting the income statements. For the income statements, you'll see an entry on the Navigator for every year of income statement that you input. The adjustments work exactly the same way. Pick an item to adjust, select the Edit Adjustments dialog box, put in the key, put in the adjustment, and type in the note. Select OK, and the adjustment will be entered. Repeat this process for every year of the income statement by going down the Navigator and selecting the appropriate years. Once you've made the adjustments, you can review the adjusted income statement and balance sheets. The adjusted balance sheet will show you the number of years that you input and adjusted, in this case 1. The adjusted income statements will show you all the income statement years that you input. Once you've reviewed the adjusted statements, you can look at the working trial balance statements. The working trial balance statements show you the adjusted statements, but on the right they show you the notes that you input for the adjustments. This is the schedule where the notes appear. The same is true for the income statement. You'll get 1 year of working trial balance income statement for every year you input. Once again, you'll notice the notes off to the right. If on the Assumptions page you've selected the Show Summary Statements checkbox, you'll see the summary statements under the Summary section. Here you'll have a Summary Historic Balance Sheet, Summary Adjusted Balance Sheet, Historic Summary Income Statement, and Adjusted Income Statements. There's also an Income to Adjusted Income Statement Reconciliation Schedule, which shows you all the adjustments that you made to the income statement. That will take you from net income to adjusted net income. Once you've input all the financial statements, you can go to Financial Statement Analysis, which analyzes the financial statements. Under Assumptions for Financial Analysis, you have a number of choices. Whether you want to use adjusted or historic statements, what RMA data you want to see, what IRS data you want to see, and a number of other things. Some of the analysis is based on detailed financial statements. Some of it is based on summary statements. Common size financials, financial statement trends, are based on details. Margins and return on equity are based on summary statements, and so are the benefit stream calculations. The RMA comparisons are based on summary statements. You'll notice whenever a database is available for a schedule, you'll see a database button on the top of the schedule. Select the button, and if you've purchased the optional add-on database, it'll appear and allow you to download data right into the schedule. There's also a section in the program to analyze IRS corporate ratio comparisons to the subject company. There's also a custom comparison, which allows you to input your own data. This is the end of the financial statement tutorial.